Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. The last video we made was all about goals and how to reach your goals in 2022. Tonight, I felt like making a technical video, specifically talking about video specifications. More specifically, we're talking about color depth and bitrate, because a lot of beginners still judge video solely on resolution. And we all know that this is kind of nonsense. We all know that a 4K video shot on a phone won't look half as good as a full HD video shot on a professional camera. So to make sure that this video is not going to bore the hell out of you, I've oversimplified a lot of the technical stuff. I've done my best to filter out the most important parts of color depth and the most important parts of bitrate, so you don't have to watch a 2-hour long video. You're welcome. All right, number one, color depth. It is measured in bits. So let's take a look at what a bit is. The word bit is a contraction of the words binary and digit. A binary digit is nothing else than a digit that can either be a 0 or a 1. There's only two options, that's why it's called a binary digit. All video we shoot nowadays is digital, meaning that it can be expressed in data that a computer can process, aka it can be expressed in bits. That's why the word bit will be thrown around a lot in this video. Let's start with 8-bit. That is the most common color depth for cameras to use. 8-bit houses 8 binary digits, aka 8 places where you can find a 0 or a 1. Now, if you do some magical math, you'll find out that if you have 8 places that can hold either a 0 or a 1, that you can make 256 combinations within that sequence. That's why 8-bit video has 256 shades of red, green, and blue. Why red, green, and blue? Well, because all modern day displays use pixels that are made up of a shade of red, a shade of green, and a shade of blue to virtually display any color. So 8-bit video gives us 256 shades of red, green, and blue, meaning that 8-bit video can display roughly over 16 million colors. This is the color depth that most basic cameras use, but a lot of professional cameras nowadays can shoot 10-bit video. So if you do the same math as before, you'll find that 10 bits, 10 binary digits, give you 1,024 combinations within the sequence, aka 1,024 shades of red, green, and blue, which means that 10-bit video can house a little bit over 1 billion colors. So even though there's only 2 bits difference between 8 and 10-bit, by the power of multiplication, 10-bit can give us over 67 times more colors than 8-bit color depth can. In short, that makes that your video, granted that it was color graded professionally, look way better and way sharper because of those extra colors. Alright, so that's what color depth is. But to be honest with you, the iPhone 12 and up, and more smartphones from that era as well, can sometimes shoot up to 10-bit-ish, or at least a form of 10-bit, and that video is still not going to look as good as certain 8-bit video that is coming out of a pro camera. And one of the most important reasons for that is bitrate. So allow me to explain that as well. Bitrate is measured similarly to color depth in bits. Like I said before, all we do nowadays is shoot digital video, so a lot of our video files need to be expressed in bits, a very common data unit for a computer to process. This time, however, it's not measured in 8 or 10 bits, it is measured in megabits, more specifically megabits per second. To put it in simple terms, the higher the bitrate, the more data your camera captures per second, and the more data is put into the video per second, allowing for higher quality. This is best reflected when you're filming something that has a lot of tiny little details. So instead of boring you with numbers, let's take a look at a concrete example. Here's 4K footage of a tree shot at a very low bitrate, 10 megabits per second. Here's that same shot. This time it's only in full HD, but it has a bitrate of 100 megabits per second. You can tell that the full HD version, even though it has a 4 times lower resolution, still looks way better than the 4K version. And that has to do with the fact that the full HD version had a 10 times higher bitrate than the 4K version of this shot had. Meaning that the full HD shot was feeding 10 times more data to the camera than the 4K shot was. So to reiterate, color depth is measured in bits, the most common one being 8-bit and the most common professional one being 10-bit. The higher the color depth, the more colors the camera is able to capture and therefore create a sharper image. Important to note here, by the way, is that even though you shoot a 10-bit video and display it on an 8-bit display, it's still gonna look better. You're basically just downscaling the color depth, so it's gonna make it look crisp. Secondly, bitrate makes sure that your camera has enough data to work with. Especially if you're filming stuff with tiny details, you want a camera that shoots a high bitrate. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button, and when you press that subscribe button, please hit the bell. I really don't want to be a bitch of YouTube's algorithm. Thanks in advance, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!